Hi guys. For today's video, I'm going to show you how to clean and prepare your dehumidifier for winter storage. Now this is very important so that you don't have a nasty surprise in the spring when you take your dehumidifier out and it's full of all kinds of nasty mold and other things. It just makes it that much more difficult to get it clean at that point. So a little bit of preventative maintenance now will help prevent nasty things like that from happening. The next step is to empty the reservoir, which you can see we have done now, and it is ready for us to clean and sanitize the inside of it. So speaking of that, you can see that it gets rather nasty from a season of use. There's definitely some mold and other things that have developed in the reservoir that we need to clean out. So I have prepared a bucket of warm water with some dishwashing liquid and a splash of bleach. The bleach is important because that's what will sanitize our reservoir. I also have a dishcloth here and a soft brush that will help me loosen up anything that might need it in the reservoir and to reach areas that I can't get with my hand. So with that, let's start the process. To make it easier to access the internals of the reservoir, my model makes it pretty easy to take this top plate off. So that's what we're going to do now. And the way that we do that is by moving the handle in a little bit so that it pops right out. And then there's a little tab right here that I just push back. And this plate pretty much pops right out, just like that. So now we have clear access to the inside. Boy, there is nasty stuff in here. I see pink mold, which is not a good sign. So definitely this is something we need to address now. So I'm going to start with my cloth and just kind of get what I call the big dirt out from the inside before I begin with the brush. Okay, I'm going to be a little bit liberal with my water here and get some in here so I have some bleach water to work with as I clean. And again, I'm just trying to get what I can access first, and we will use the brush to get what we can't with our hands. And you do have to be careful here. I mean, some of these parts here on the corners are a little bit sharp, so just be cognizant of that and try not to hurt yourself. Okay, at this point, I'm going to start using the brush to get the finer parts. And the reason I like this brush is that it's got bristles all the way around, including on the bottom, so it can really get in the crevices. Okay, I'm going to let this sit while we pay attention to the outside and make sure that's nice and clean. Okay, I'm going to let this sit maybe another 10 minutes and let the bleach do its work, and then we will drain it and rinse it. While we are waiting for the bleach to do its magic on the reservoir, we are going to clean the air filter. And again, it's important to make sure to pay attention to this to make sure it's as clean as the rest of the unit so you aren't putting it away dirty. Now, I am showing on the screen here how to remove this from my dehumidifier. It might be slightly different for yours, but let's get to cleaning this. So again, I'm taking my bleachy soapy cloth and I am just wiping it down, making sure I get all surfaces on both sides. Okay, and we will let this air dry. The next step is to show the exterior of the dehumidifier the same sort of attention that we did to the reservoir and the air filter, and that is to take a look at the insides, wipe them down, make sure they are clean and functioning properly. So let's get to that. Okay, again with my bleachy soap water, and this time with a slightly drier washcloth, I am going to clean the interior here. Make sure to remove any of the dirt that I see. I'm paying particular attention to the top here, which is closest to the reservoir, just to make sure there isn't anything nasty lurking there. So far it's looking pretty good, but I'm going to go one step further. I'm going to take a flashlight and shine it up on the interior by where the reservoir goes, just to make sure everything looks like it's intact and I don't see anything that's loose. I will also shine a light into the coils here, just to make sure everything looks tight and right there as well. So let's start with this. Okay, everything looks pretty good. I don't see anything loose, and it looks pretty clean, which is good news. So we are good to go there. Now I've tilted this up so you can see a little bit better what's going on in here. And again, I'm just looking on the inside here to make sure everything is clean and that I don't see any loose parts. And again, it's looking pretty good. So our dehumidifier has a clean bill of health. Now let's go back outside and empty out that reservoir, and we will dry it. Okay, the interior of the reservoir is pretty clean. There's still some staining here that is not mold. It's just dirt stain that cannot be removed. But aside from that, the interior is pretty darn clean. So right now, I am going to let this air dry for probably 24 hours just to make sure it's completely dry. Because the last thing you want to do is assemble this back into the dehumidifier while it's still wet, and then you've just recreated your problem again for next spring. So I will let this sit for a day, and we will see you in the morning. All right, the last thing we need to do is put everything back together and tie up the cord, and we'll be ready to store it for the season. So let's get to that. Okay, the first thing we need to do is reinstall our filter. It just pops up in place like that. And then next is the reservoir. All nice and clean and mold free. And mine already has a tie in the back for the cord, so we will get the cord wrapped up just like that. And we are ready to go for the winter. And that concludes our project for today. If you found this video helpful, please give it a thumbs up and join the channel. In the meantime, I will link another video here for you to enjoy. Thanks so much for joining me today, and I will see you on our next adventure.